Does essence precede existence, or does existence precede essence? This question, showing itself in the very beginning, showed to be deeply thought-provoking. If only I could gracefully examine and express the confusion it stirred in my heart. What is the meaning behind this question? Maybe it means that there is no meaning and there is no reality prior to our existence here, and that this here right now is it, and what's left to do is to make meaning out of it. But is this to be believed? Is this a reflection of what's real? So many teachers, philosophers, sages, and prophets have entered into this world and are now gone, leaving behind only their teachings. But what do their teachings reflect? Do they reflect reality? Does their wisdom resonate within the heart? It's a subject that's up for debate, but what I can say for certain is that I testify to the beauty of life embedded within the springtime flower, as well as to the dark malevolence that has passed through my own heart. I confess to the beauty embedded within the early hours of the morning, and to the stillness of the night when dark and quiet. I bear witness to the reality that it could be that there is a reality of essence that precedes existence. But what does this mean? That I can't say. This is my experience, trying to learn what the world has to offer, including invitations to openly confront the pain, to consider nothingness. You're avoiding. Consider that you could be avoiding. You're avoiding. Consider that you could be avoiding. Is it that you're avoiding the reality that you do hold fear, and you so desperately try to hide it? What do you fear? A great writer once wrote that hell is the suffering of being unable to love. What does this mean, though? Is it the ability or inability to love one's life, one's mother or father, one's self, one's existence? You're still avoiding. When Dostoyevsky wrote that hell is the suffering of being unable to love, it could be that he was reaching for something deeper, which is to convey that love isn't just affection or romance. It's the capacity to connect with life, with others, and with ourselves. Now imagine being trapped in fear, a fear that you don't even realize is there, but it veils you in a protective covering meant to shield you from being hurt. Indeed, this is isolation. This is a separation that is its own kind of torment. Can the one trapped in this fear truthfully experience life? Because without love, whether it's for another person, for the one who created this world, or for existence itself, what else is left aside the agonies of existence? What's even scarier is fearing and not even knowing it. Just think, what could happen if this romantic affair with avoidance was left in the past, and instead you listened to what love might ask you in the face of fear? Love might ask to consider the one who pushes a button from afar and ends a life without a second thought. Love might ask to bear witness to the horrors of man and his perverted obsession with eradicating life. Love might ask to consider the mother who breaks as she watches her infant pass away in her arms, crying with life only moments before. That is hell. Or is it that we're not in a position to say this? Because it could be that such people still hold strong to the path ahead of them despite their pain and brokenness. A path that affirms belief, hope, trust, faith, and the reality of divine justice being a certainty where every single soul is held accountable for its actions. How beautiful it is to believe that the promise of justice in the end is inevitable. Love, when it's real, doesn't flinch in the face of suffering. It bears witness to it. It sees the horrors of injustice, the pain of loss, the cruelty of violence, and instead of turning away from it, it sits beside it and says, "I see you. I won't abandon you." To wholeheartedly open oneself to the depth of human brokenness is to also acknowledge the reality of the one who, despite the circumstances, finds strength to believe. It is in such a heart's radiating light that something sacred emerges, that no pain goes unseen, that no act of cruelty escapes justice. It is the open lifeline that invites dignity and meaning. Is this a lesson for those of us who are desperate to keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts? As a human being, the notion that life is meaningless, that existence precedes essence, is not for me. But what I can learn from the teachers and sages of the school that is existentialism is to look at the pain and suffering of my own existence, while not turning away from the pain and suffering of others. There was once a teacher lecturing his students while they were in the midst of their broken-hearted concern for what they were seeing in the world. In their sorrow, they had begun to often raise him with a question: where is God in all of this? It was then and there that the teacher invited them to reconsider that maybe in such moments, rather than asking where is God, they should instead consider that it could be that it is God that asks, where are you? That is the path to justice, to self-respect, to not turning away from the fear, the suffering, the pain, the grief, but confronting it with willingness, with a testimony to the beauty of life, to the beauty of the truth that beats with every single living heartbeat. Herein lies the path. This might be a reminder not to turn away from the existential questions, but to honor those great teachers by engaging with what they left behind. It invites the privileged question: what is my responsibility in the face of suffering? Could it be listening for the call from the unseen corner of our hearts, urging us to adopt an active role, as witnesses, as healers, as agents of love and mercy in a world that is becoming forgetful of such things? Love is not just a feeling, but a response embodied in one's deeds and actions. It is the luminous oil that allows the heart to burn brightly in the moments most difficult.